Deepest heart of the Vosges forest, a young woman called Mathilde waited alone. Every day she waited for her husband Jacques, a stonemason, to return from his work on the Cathedral of Saint-Dié. Every day from dawn till dusk, Mathilde waited. J'attendrai, she repeated to herself. I will wait. The beasts of the forest passed her by as autumn died and cold winds began to blow. The rabbits and butterflies that had brought them such joy all summer long were only a sad reminder of her solitude. The animals left the woods for winter homes, and then she was truly alone. Il reviendra, she repeated. He will come back. Soon, all that were left in the cold, empty forest were the crows. Always the crows, taunting her with their shrill voices. Alone, 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 they cried. Then one day, Mathilde thought she could hear a voice calling to her. The sound seemed to come from nowhere and everywhere at the same time. But when she opened the door, there was no one there. The forest had become a cathedral of branches, bare. But beautiful as it was, Mathilde could only feel sorrow there. It was as if the forest called to her. Mysteriously drawn toward it, she stepped out into the barren twilight. As she walked, she saw a solitary stag. His familiar eyes chilled her to the bone. "Jacques," she cried, "Jacques!" But when she tried to approach, the stag faded into the dusk. She knew then that her husband no longer inhabited this earthly plane. She had been warned never to enter into the forest alone at night. She had been told of haunted wells and mythical creatures, of sacred trees and the lost souls who lived there. But now, hopeless, she fled deeper into the boundless dark, as if she could leave her pain and sorrow behind her. As night fell, the insects shone like stars in the heaven, fading in and out as if sending her messages. Blindly searching for the stag, she lost her way. Every direction looked the same. Paralyzed, she stood alone, frightened and bereft. As she cried out her grief to the trees, she felt the eyes of the lost souls upon her. The creatures of the night had awoken within the wood. Yellow-green lights moved through the trees. She thought she could hear something coming towards her. still more eyes began to gleam hungrily. She wanted to scream, but she was so frightened she couldn't make a sound. Her heart racing now, she decided to climb the tallest ash tree so that she could perch in its highest branches, and maybe the wind would blow her away. She hung her head, listening to the mysterious whispers of the night. As she drifted off, the darkness closed in around her. It was as if God himself had closed his eyes on her. As she slept, she dreamed. She dreamt of a tangled path of thorns descending into unknown miseries. She dreamed of a stained glass window. She knew it somehow, and then her mind's eye saw it. It was the Cathedral of Saint-Dié, where Jacques had fallen to his death the night before. Mathilde awoke with the dawn. She felt different. She felt lighter. She stretched an arm and found a wing instead. When she spread her wings, she found she could fly. She flew higher and higher, away from the forest, away from her sorrow, away from her pain. Below her was the river Meurthe, where she and Jacques had walked so many times. As she flew, the crows joined her. As they surrounded her, her heart fused with theirs. And then they cried together, alone, alone, alone. Mathilde was never seen again. But to this day, people say that if you walk in the forest of the Vosges at dusk, you can sometimes see a wild-eyed stag with a single crow perched upon one antler.